Yes, people, good morning. Welcome to the Transfer View. Welcome back to United View. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Big up all of the community. Over 200 waiting, says Joe Blackman. Not even 100 likes. But I will say this because the immediate pushback is you were late. You were even a little bit more later than before. So apologies. Flecknology. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm not going to lie, guys. It's hilarious.
Right now, as you can see, I ain't going to lie. It's going to say it. Half my head's cut off. So whilst Owen is talking in the next batch, when he's going through the first story, I will be fiddling around a little bit. But yeah, big up to everyone locked in. Do smash a like. We have got over 200 people watching already, which is great. 78 likes, which is not bad as well. Superstar Nathan Joseph, been a member just now, just become a member actually. Big up to you, Superstar Nathan. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the community. Welcome Nathan Min with open arms as well. Minna says disgrace view. And JD Carmela says, what's up, Flex? What's up, Owen? Big up everyone, says Tabres. Brown shirt view. Oh yeah, Owen, what you got on? You got like a little khaki number.
This is grey.
Right.
This is grey.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like a dark.
This is grey.
Okay.
Yeah. This is grey.
Sancho view, says Sean. Yes, what we're going to be talking about. Well, apparently, according to a report out there on the internet somewhere, Juventus. Yes, exactly. That's definitely going to happen. Jadon Sancho is being looked at by Juventus for a loan deal, apparently, and also Wan-Bissaka with West Ham. West Ham have sort of looked to what it would be like to take him as he is available. There's been some prices thrown around for Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well. Some quite low prices, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, I want to get your opinion on that and everything else in between. Especially the thing that caused up a big stir yesterday was the story that Sir Jim and what should I say, Ineos could potentially sell the naming rights to a new Old Trafford or a new home ground for Manchester United, I suppose I should say. And that got a lot of people talking. If you're a real fan, you wouldn't sell your soul. You know, this is who we are. This is what we are. He said he wouldn't do that. He's fake. He's selling us down the river. Other people are like, listen, get in the modern times. This is what things happened. Again, if Barcelona can do it, and that's the new camp with the history they've had, you know, it's what has to happen sometimes. Who knows? So it divided a lot of opinion. I really want to see what this community thinks as well, because I think it is one that has pros and cons on both sides. So we're definitely going to get into all of that. But let's get straight into it. Jadon Sancho. Is he going Juventus? Are we going to get shortchanged? And is it going to be on loan?
Yes. Well, whilst Flex fixes his camera, because I know that'll be bothering him terrifically. By the way, it must be said, we have the same conversation every morning. Yeah, we'll go, it's a little bit needs to be zoomed in, zoom out. And Flex gets progressively more angry as he tries to fix it. Stuff gets knocked over and he goes, I'm sick of this bloody camera. It's just a joke. But yes, Jadon Sancho, Alfredo Padula. So you could say the source, comme ça, 50-50, is saying that Juventus like Jadon Sancho very much and want to sign him on loan. They remain in close contact with his entourage. It's also being reported that an unnamed Premier League club are also interested in Jadon Sancho, as well as another from La Liga. But all of these reports, Fleck, all of these different suggestions are still pointing to towards more a loan as opposed to a permanent transfer, which of course is what Manchester United are looking for. And on top of that, as we've said about a couple of players this summer, about proper fundraising players, if you will. You're looking at obviously Mason Greenwood. There've been reports that Lazio have put, I think, was it 30 million? United want 40. But as many people have pointed out, I don't even know the last time Lazio spent 40 million pound on a player. I can't even recall. I don't know if they have for the longest time. And Jadon Sancho, if a transfer that Man United had earmarked 40 million quid for turns out to be a loan, maybe that stops United getting some other transfers in this summer that they had anticipated.
Take it off mute first. Take it off mute. Take it off mute. Take it off mute. I had to scroll down, get it off mute. There's a lot going on at Fleck HQ. There's a lot going on, and spinning a lot of plates here. It's not easy. Yeah, we've got a lot going on. We've got to make sure things are in order. Yeah, so you can do the show properly. What was your question?
I can't remember, because sometimes whenever I'm doing it, I'm gonna see once I see the hand come out like this on the arc, like this.
You know something's going on.
And the fear in your eyes going, come on, come on, come on.
I think you were saying, is that going to hurt us if it's
yeah? My point was, is that going to prevent us actually making like a signing maybe we had anticipated making this summer because we wouldn't have got the money? It would just been loan, unless there's like an obligation to buy at the end of it. Sort of thing.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure, but I think if there's obligations to buy, you can include.
You still can because that's guaranteed. Yeah, like guaranteed.
It's guaranteed. Once they sign the contract that they must do this, obviously, once they don't do it, you just take it to court. You sue them. Like they have to pay the money. So yeah, I think if it's just a loan without any obligations, I think we're in trouble because let's be honest, Jadon is somebody who's not going to come back to the football club. Like he's just not. It's done. It's over. So if you say that he gets to leave, but there's no money coming in, it's 100%, in my opinion, going to scupper our plans to get someone else in. Our two biggest assets this season, this summer, are Jadon Sancho and Mason Greenwood. You know, if we get the 40 each for him, you know, it's the best part of 80 million. So, you know, and you never know, you could push to 100 with some add-ons if you really get your shit right. You could secure best part of 100 million. That's huge money, and it's a way of us more than doubling our said, according to Laurie Whitwell, transfer budget net, which is what, 50 million. So it's a way for us to get more than double that in 2 player sales. So I think it's essential that, you know, they both go. We get 2 good deals for them, and we can't just have another season-long loan for either of them. Like we've done it once now. Well, it was half a season with Jadon, but we've done it with them now. The loan market, we've got them somewhat resurrecting their careers. I mean, from where Mason Greenwood was 18 months ago, 2 years ago, to now, obviously he's resurrected his career somewhat in terms of kickstarting it again, and now there's going to be interest. You know, he's playing exactly, and Jadon Sancho exiled for 6 months, didn't play a game, managed to get himself to a Champions League final, and everyone's talking about him again. So that part of it is done in terms of how, because it had to be a process in terms of, you know, offloading these 2 players. It just had to be. We couldn't go from where they were to having an instant situation, and that's why we said, especially with Jadon Sancho, we needed him to go off, make a good impression, get people talking about him again, and people remember he is a good player. It's not going to work here, but his stock needed to rise. The Mason Greenwood thing was different for obviously a lot of reasons, but from the business side of it, if we were going to offload him without just ripping up his contract and us being at a loss for things that have gone on off the pitch, then again, he had to go through a process of being in silence and exile for a long time, resurrecting his career away from this whole country, out the way. It's happened for him, and now he's in a shop window again where United can, you know, cash in. So it's a process that had to be done, and now we're at the bit where the money needs to come in now, and Man United really need it to. So yeah, to answer your question, I do think not letting Sancho go for money, and if it's just a loan, that will affect us. That will make us essentially like a player down, definitely.
Yeah, well, what you do find with these kind of things as well is the difference between transfers and finances from the Premier League to these other clubs around Europe. Because for us, Premier League clubs, you know, when we say, oh, you know, we're looking for 40 million, because the market's so inflated in the UK and in the Premier League in particular, we go 40 million. It's not even that much. We go 40 million. That's nothing. But European clubs in Serie A La Liga, they're like, that's a lot of money to us. Like that, we don't really have that kind of budget, you know. For again, a club like Lazio, to go to them and go, oh, you know, we want 40 million for Mason Greenwood. They were like, that's not really in our budget. And even other clubs like, you know, Juventus, they just got Douglas Luiz, haven't they, from Aston Villa? But pretty complicated deal. They had to get, you know, 2 players swapped over, you know, all that kind of stuff, plus a bit of cash, because they don't have the money just to go. Because look at Juventus, all their financial issues they've had over the last several years. My goodness me! So they're like,
well, Barca was bad.
Yeah, and they're like, well, we just don't really have, like, again, the cash just to be like, hey, it's 40 million quid. There you go, off one player. We have to spread it around a little bit. We have to be a bit smarter. So that will be their pushback for that. As far as like the unnamed Premier League club, if that is true, who would you suspect?
Who is it?
Who would be the
Chelsea?
candidate? That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Chelsea. Definitely Chelsea. That I would suspect. They tried to get Elise, didn't work. I know Isak's a striker, number 9, but they're just looking at forwards, aren't they? You can tell they're trying to get another forward in. And that is such a Chelsea thing as well. I think
What would Matisse say? What would Matisse say to Jadon Sancho? Has he even said about that? Have you ever asked him?
I'm going to ring him right now.
Call him. Yeah, call him. He'd be getting ready for it. He usually goes live at 10.
Does he wake up early though?
Well, he usually goes live at 10, I think, in the morning for some, I don't know what he calls it, like Chelsea, meeting or whatever. Usually it's emergency meeting. There's been quite a few.
I don't think he's going to be awake. He's a late riser.
A couple of rings.
It's not looking good, bruv.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Messaging service. The person you are.
No. Messaging service.
Yeah. It's not happening.
No, we'll find out.
But yes, Steve Nichols says Newcastle. Newcastle's a good one.
Possibly. I mean, they could be letting players go this summer, couldn't they? Maybe a couple. Maybe
but they managed with the Guimaraes situation. His release clause is done now. So Isak, they fended off. It's a little bit of interest there, and they're saying he's key unless there's a crazy offer. So I guess if someone does come in with 100+ million for Isak, they'll probably have to say yes. But like I said, in this current climate, it's not a lot. Unless Real Madrid are going to come in and do that and find a way, which they're not. If they've got Mbappe, Barca ain't good. That's not their structure. Man City ain't coming in. Like who's going to come and pay 100 million in this climate of football for Isak? I don't really see. Don't know. No one in Italy. No one in Spain. No one in Germany.
No
one else in the Premier League.
It would. If it was going to come from anywhere, it would be Premier League. Well, if it was going to, Premier League clubs can give that amount out. I mean, look at last season, Arsenal and Declan Rice, but
maybe us, but and even that with Arsenal,
not back to back years,
not back to back. Yeah. Chelsea have walked away because they can't do that right now. They can't be doing that. Something they finally can't do. But Sancho, I could see Chelsea doing that or Newcastle. So that would be interesting. And look, depending on the type of team it is and how they play football, Sancho's a competent footballer. I mean, I don't think he's ever going to get back to the level. Here's one. Do you think he will get back to the level to get back in the England team and be part? And we have to say the same for Mason Mount. There's a couple of players who used to be really in that forefront, and they were never actually guaranteed starters. To be fair, they were just in the squad. But do you think Jadon Sancho, and this is to you guys at home as well, and Mason Mount, who else is there who's off it? Should we put Rashford in it? Rashford, I think, he'll get back in it soon, isn't it?
Rashford and Grealish. But I mean,
they'll be like first back in it.
They'll be
but
back
if they have
in.
shit seasons and Mason Mount and Sancho have good seasons next year and leave them two behind, and it's probably going to be a new manager.
Well, you forget with Mason Mount. If you look at like stars, Mason Mount, you just cast your mind back just 2 years. He was starting for England at the Qatar World Cup a lot, a lot of games. He was
starting. There. Did he start? Loads.
Yeah, because I was looking back the other day because I wonder what the difference is between.
Where was he on
England
the left?
Team. I think he was in the 10 flex.
Was he?
Because
Phil Foden wasn't in the World Cup, was he? Much.
Let's say England versus Wales.
So many games I can't even forget. I can't even remember who was played.
Didn't start that one. It might have been England USA, maybe.
That was 1-1, wasn't it? Or 0-0. I went to that
because our record's great again. Yeah, he started against the USA in the 10.
Really? Who was behind him? Henderson and Rice.
It was Bellingham and Rice in that one.
Oh yeah, in the World Cup. Yeah.
And then England versus, was it Iran, the first game?
Yes, when we won like 6-2 or something.
Yeah, he started. He probably would have picked the same team, probably. Yeah, Mason Mount started that one.
In the 10?
Yeah, in the 10.
England so he started the tournament. So that means
that's what I mean. He was playing games which you kind of forget because he's just not played for United for a year, essentially. And then obviously the year before that as well at Chelsea had a really difficult season with injury.
So he's had two bad years. Yeah. So but if we can get back, there's clearly a lot of back.
But actually as well, the Euro 2020 final between England and Italy, I think he started, didn't he?
Did he? Nah, I don't think he did.
He did. Yeah, he started in behind. Yeah, I'm telling you, Fleck.
Bro, he was the main man. He was the main 10.
I'm telling you.
See, and that's how quickly international football changes, because then Foden excels, and he's still not even playing in the 10 because we've got Gareth Southgate. But Foden excels, / Bellingham does what he has done. And things change really, really quickly. Before we carry on this chat, because I think it's good. Jack Lynch says, James Sancho needs to go. Needs to go end of, but unfortunately getting rid of him is going to be difficult with his wage demands. Yeah, it's not easy. It really isn't easy. Superstar Nathan Joseph, big up to you, says, I've actually been a member for nearly 2 years, Flex. So I thought he'd just become a member now. But he's saying I just forgot to update my card details, so it didn't renew. I'm back though. Big up the whole UV fam and Owen Wrestle News 365 crew.
Yeah, Superstar Nathan Joseph. I think I christened Superstar part of it.
Did you?
Like, big gifter. Big gifter.
Wicked.
Big gifted membership
that
guy.
And what wrestler is that in his thing? I can't
D'Lo Brown. It's D'Lo Brown with the European
Championship. You're looking at the real deal now.
Can you do the head bubble?
Sorry ass out on the street.
Can you do his head bubble?
The lowdown, bro. Basically, a big frog splash. I used to love D'Lo Brown. Oh, D'Lo Brown was my favorite. Is that D'Lo Brown? Oh,
yeah.
I used to love. When I used to make my character on SmackDown, I always used to give him D'Lo Brown music.
Yeah, because it starts off with a little screech, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
Rick, you're looking at the real deal now.
I'm gonna kick your sorry ass out on the street. Oh, man, I need to listen to that. I used to love D'Lo Brown.
UV clips, if you're watching that, put the music over Flex singing it. You know what I mean? Sink it in.
Yeah.
And put Flex's head on D'Lo Brown going,
like that. He used to have that wicked walk in it when he's walking down the flipping ramp.
Yeah.
Aminor Rashid. Aminor. It sounds, because it's the full name, but obviously it's Aminor. Big up to Aminor. He says, Flex, I think we disrespected Rangnick too much, bro. We'll talk about that as well. We will talk about that. Because actually, hold that thought. Keep that thought. Let's carry on with the show. Some people annoyed all over the place. Yeah. Actually, no. Just quickly,
go
we will talk about it properly.
Go with it.
Some of these neutral fans, yeah, like piss off. Because you know what it was. Do you know what it is, Owen? Yeah. When we had Ralf Rangnick, yeah, and I'm going off kind of personal friends and WhatsApp groups. I'll be honest, right? But they're rival fans, so I just say, you know, when a few people say it to you from different clubs, so you just say, think it's everyone. But that's what I'm doing. Like Liverpool fans, I know, Arsenal fans, you know, they're messaging me going, oh, look at Ralf Rangnick's all right. Oh, look, didn't do it at your club. Oh, yeah. Hang on a minute. When we had Ralf Rangnick, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute, yeah. Bro, when we had Ralf Rangnick, you know what they were saying to me? Oh, look at the state of your club. Some guy who's bloody, he's just, what's he done in football? Done one thing at Leipzig for like a little bit, wherever Ralf was before. Oh, he's supposed to be upstairs. Look at the state of your club. Now, all of a sudden, he's a wicked manager. Man United shouldn't have let him go. Piss off. Get out of here, man. I hate this. Now, don't get me wrong, Aminor. The conversation about Ralf actually being a good coach and how organised Austria are and talk about their performances and actually what would it have been like if we kept him and done some of the things that he said. I agree with that. And that's why we'll talk about it in a bit. But to them fans who were telling us when we had him, look at these Man United fans getting excited because he's saying he's the godfather of Klopp and that old Gegenpress. He taught Tuchel and he taught Klopp. He's taught all the German managers. Oh, yeah, this, that, and the other. Man United are dead. Ralf Rangnick ain't done nothing. And now they've seen him do that, top the group. They're like, oh, should have kept him. He's good. When you told us, you're laughing at us for having him. Nah, man.
I told you that Nathan Joseph was a superstar, Flex. Yeah, I told you, Flex.
Crazy.
That's why. That's why he's no longer Nathan Joseph. That's why he's superstar Nathan Joseph, and that's why he's D'Lo Brown. He's just given the lowdown on the join membership button. Yeah, is exactly what he's done. Not 5, not 10, not 15, but 20. 20. I can't even say it that way. 20 gifted memberships. Yeah, that's why he's superstar. Look at it.
Sick. Big up to you, superstar Nathan Joseph. You should just call him superstar, really.
Superstar.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's superstar. Superstar Nathan. Big up to you, man. Gifted 20 memberships. Big up to all the beneficiaries of those 20 memberships. Just off the cuff here. Georgie's got one. Mike's got one. Bernal the Red's got one. Shenanigans CD. If I keep scrolling, Curtis C. Lamino, Sanil, Emmanuel. There's loads more. I can't even go through all of them. But yes, welcome everybody to the membership, and a big thank you to Superstar there for giving out 20, mate. 20, not 5, not 10. Not 15,
20.
20. And Kristen as well, long-time member of the channel as well, has a super chat. It says, we need to scout Joe Henry. You'll believe in Joe Henry flex.
Joe Henry flex. I believe in Joe Henry. You won't get it. But it's
Is that a wrestler?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, he became very viral. His song went into
the pickups or something?
No, his song went into the charts here in the UK.
But he's a wrestler in WWE?
No, he's not even in WWE. He's in another promotion, and he just became very popular by being a bit of a viral sensation, really. And his song ended up in like the top 50 charts here in the UK, and it's very good.
Oh, okay. First I've heard of that. Yeah. Tabra says, no WWE entrance tops Chavo. Is that Chavo Guerrero?
Yeah.
I don't remember his entrance.
If you listened to it, you would have heard it.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones, though, like, if you were ever watching wrestling and that came on, and then, let's say, like, your parents were in the room, they give you a bit of a dirty look. They go,
what was it? It's loud.
Well, no, they go, what are you watching? Because it's a female saying it quite seductively. You know what I mean?
Oh, Chavo.
Yeah.
Chavo Guerrero's one.
And then, like, if it was gone, or you're playing, like, SmackDown versus Raw or something that came on, you'd be like, skip entrance.
Yeah, I'll slowly pass.
Skip
Eddie Guerrero with the lowriders was 100. Yeah, Mamacita. He used to come and do that in it and do the Douglas Luiz basically.
Yeah,
when he was China, he used to come down with China, didn't he?
He was indeed. Yeah. Yes, he would do the. He would do
as
Flex would say the
Douglas. Yeah, that's what he used to go. Shimmy, y'all with a Douglas and a Douglas. Oh, mate, we've done some embarrassing things here on this channel.
But you're right with the Ralf Rangnick stuff. You are right because and you know who's also right. Kevin Gary is also right. KG the comedian is also right because he said it earlier on in the season, and it's so true. We as United fans love romanticizing ex-managers or players once they've left. We love it. Like, we love doing it. Like, and he was right. He said if Erik ten Hag had left in sort of 3 years' time, we'd be going, he was special. He was special.
Yeah.
And it's the same with we did it with Sabitzer when he obviously got the Champions. Sabitzer should have stayed, all that kind of stuff. And Ralf is the same. Although I think the media do have it a bit wrong with Ralf Rangnick, because I think if you talk to most Manchester United fans, they've got largely pleasant things to say about Ralf Rangnick, because there is a general understanding of, well, he was an interim manager in a really shit time at a club that's horribly run. And the majority of his time he spent calling out how horribly run the club was.
Yeah. And he was right in everything.
And fans appreciate it. And to be honest, it wasn't really new information that he was given. It's like when Ronaldo came out and said the training ground shit. And it's like, well, everyone knows that. But it was nice and refreshing to hear someone so closely associated with the club say it in a public forum, and probably it cost him his job. So I think that most Man United fans, again, have a very positive, viewpoint on him. I think it's the media like to go, well, he was interim manager and it was shit, and Man United were rubbish. You're like, well, yeah, but we were.
He was a sitting duck. The players knew he was never going to stay. He did rub up players the wrong way because he came in and didn't give a shit. Said, you lot don't run. This needs major heart surgery. I've looked at what's there. I've looked at what's there. I've looked at these lot. They ain't got the minerals. They don't run. They don't do this. They don't do that. And, it doesn't have to. I remember that one when he's like, this doesn't have to take 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Yeah. This could be done in 2 to 3 years if you buy the right players and get the right shit and the right people.
And he was like, well, and it doesn't take, he was like, it doesn't take a genius to figure out what's going wrong here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it goes to show, doesn't it, of what happens if you do have a group of players that are all bought in to what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve. If you don't have too big attitudes or egos, and they're willing to do the running, they're willing to do the training,
get them all to buy in.
Suddenly, you can take like it always is in international tournaments as well. It's not the team of best players that win; it's the best team that wins.
Yeah,
a great team will overshadow a team of individuals.
Look at Georgia
any day.
You know what I mean?
Look at last night. Whenever I hear Georgia, I always think they're talking about a person. By the way,
what, a girl called Georgia?
Georgia, yeah. And I always see this. Have you seen the clip of Harry Pinero when he's with Leroy Sané and he does the the Jamaican accent?
Oh yeah. And he starts.
I always hear that. Georgia.
Charger. He goes, Charger. And he just starts laughing. That is a funny thing.
So whenever I see him play or whatever, and I do the commentary, I'm like, who? Oh, right, it's the country.
How do you say my man's name again? The long name of the guy from Napoli.
I'm not very good at
Kravetsile. I don't know how you say it.
Yeah.
Someone put it phonetically in the chat of how you say it, because I've never known. Kravetscaler, is it? I think.
I'm not sure.
I think it's Kravetscaler. But someone put it in the chat of how you say that phonetically, because I always struggle to say it, but he came through clutch as well. Kristen says it was oh yeah, that was it. No, we read Tabrez already. I'm sure it's Kravetscaler. Something like that. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Crash Valley. What? Makish has put his Crash Valley.
I'm just getting
Carver Skeller. I don't know.
I'm just getting videos. I can't be bothered to listen.
Carver Scaler. Yeah. Carveratskala. Oh, bloody hell.
Carveratskalia.
Carveratskali. I ain't got a clue, mate. I ain't got a clue. But him anyway, he's sick. That's the proper Del Boy thing. Yeah, him, mate. He's good. He's good. I'll give him that.
Terrific.
Right, Aaron Wan-Bissaka to West Ham.
Yes, this is quite interesting. Aaron Wan-Bissaka could be going to West Ham. We know he could be going this summer. The question is to where? Well, according to Gary Jacobs from The Times, it's saying that West Ham have revived their interest in signing Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who was among the versatile right-backs on their shortlist. So the only concern, and you kind of touched on it earlier, Flex, and it is true, that there were some reports about possibly, was it Galatasaray, I think it was, or Fenerbahce, some Turkish sides possibly being interested in him. And the price that was kind of being quoted was not all that much at all, really, was it? They were saying maybe like 10 million, 15 million, something like that. But he's got a year left on his contract. And, you know, it might be one of those ones that, again, Manchester United just got to kind of bite the bullet on.
Listen, we're not going to make money on none of these players. We're trying to get as much as we can, but also people are going to lowball us with the offers. They are, because they know that, you know, these players like Lindelof and him are in his last year's contracts. They know that Man United's going in a new direction, and to some extent, if Man United do want to go in this new direction, they've got to start letting players go and cut the losses. You know, it's about minimizing how big the losses are, because they're all going to be losses for every single player we're trying to sell. Because none of them, Greenwood aside, because he's academy prospect, none of them are going to be more or at par for what we bought them for. Wan-Bissaka is never going to go for anything near 50 with a year left in his deal. Victor Lindelof's never going to go for anything close to what we got him for. What did we get him for? About 30 million at the time, was it, Lindelof? Something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's been here a while as well. He's been here so long. So that's, you know, you kind of got your 30 million's worth out of him, if you're being honest. Sancho, you're never going to get anywhere near 77 million or whatever it was in the end, nowhere near. So it is what it is. I just want us to just find a deal. Obviously, as long as it's not taking the piss, you know, but if it ends up being between 10 and 15 million pounds for Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the last year of his contract, some people could say, and actually KG said this on our keep buy sell or our loan buy sell thing. He's like, I'd keep him. Rather than actually give away the pittance. I'd keep him. Yeah, he's like, if it's like 11 million or something like that, 10 million, you know what? I'll just keep, we're all right at right back. Like, Dallow's the main guy. Wan-Bissaka's got good skill set to come in, and he's always reliable when you need him. Rarely injured. I know he got injured for a couple of months this season, but usually he's all right. And again, you know, in the final, I know we had no players and he had to play right back and Dallo left back because that was where we was at. But if you need Wan-Bissaka to come in and be professional and lock somebody up, or he can do it. So do you say, you know what, for what it's worth? Because if you let him go for 10 million, can you get somebody better than him for more for that money? Because we're spinning plates.
That's the thing. That's the thing is can't. The thing you would say is that if you let him go, you do need a backup right back.
It has to be replaced.
Because we don't have another right back in that regard. I'd still look towards more. I'm still looking at left back, being like, that really, really, really needs to be addressed. I mean, I know that, I don't know, England play on, what, they play Sunday, whether or not Luke Shaw's going to be involved in that. Who knows?
Who knows? He's on the bench to start.
Well, but he was on the bench for the first game, technically, wasn't
on
he?
the bench with no shin pads and no actual
Yeah,
kit.
exactly,
No
exactly.
shirt.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, still looking at that, and yeah, he is right in that regard of going, all right. So if you're going to let him go for, let's say, 10, and you've got really 10 million quid to sort of spend
To go
around
and get
with a
another right
back,
back in
who are
Europe.
you
What are you going to get that's better than
who are you going to
Wan-Bissaka?
find? Who are you going to find? So you might be worth just biting the bullet and be like, all right, then a loss is a loss.
Yeah,
you
may
know
as
what I
well.
mean?
I think you may as well get a loss with someone who's actually quite good though at their skill set, and Dallow's the main man for 1 year, and then when it gets to the end of it, you just go your separate ways and say,
Wow.
have we got our 50 millions worth since he's arrived in what 2018 was it? When
Yeah,
Maguire came in it.
2019, that maybe it might have been
Yeah,
2018,
2019,
2019,
just before
around that kind
COVID.
of, yeah.
Yeah, around that time anyway. Have you got your 50 millions worth? Well, he probably should have cost 50 million to start, absolutely, but he did, and he's been a good servant, professional. He's got a unique skill set. He's played in some big games for us and had some big performances. And you go,
And
you know
Flex,
what?
if he stays, he'll do like it has been
Just
for
do
the
his
last
job.
couple of seasons. He'll continue to play big games because we'll
Yeah,
get to the point where we go like,
yeah,
either we need him to fill in, or we'll have the discussion that we always have with him, which is, yeah, but a big game when they're going to pick a player, we're going up against this winger. Yeah, kind of probably need him actually in that
yeah,
in that game, because we have that conversation
yeah.
every season.
And
Don't we?
let's be honest. Next year, I know we're saying to get a left back, but if we don't get round to it or whatever, there's not enough money to do
We're
it.
getting left back.
Luke Shaw's gonna, yeah, but Luke Shaw's
I'm
gonna
not
get
allowing
injured.
it. I'm not allowing
Oh,
not getting another
I
left
hope
back
so.
Flex.
I
We
really
need it.
hope so.
We need
But
it. If they
something,
go into the season without one,
yeah,
oh my god,
it's ridiculous. But let's be real. Knowing our luck, or something will happen at fullback. Some form of thing will happen. Whether that's Dallow's now got a hamstring, didn't see that coming, or Luke Shaw and the new guy got injured. Oh, he's not quite ready yet. Oh, we need Wan-Bissaka. We won't be any worse by letting Wan-Bissaka stay. We would be weakened if we let him go and didn't replace him.
But if it gets to the point and go, why didn't we recruit a left back this summer? And they go, well, we kept Wan-Bissaka. That's the rationale. You'd be like, no.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
Wan-Bissaka's the backup on the right hand
So then,
side. Yeah.
but then it's about money, because if you let Wan-Bissaka go for the 10/13 million or whatever it is, they need to still buy a left back. That's relatively.
That's what I mean.
Money we've got.
Yeah.
So how do you do all that? I just don't know. I just don't know. If they let him go for 10 million, right, or whatever it is to West Ham, cool. But then we must get a right back, because then Dallow's the only right back we have. We can't have that.
He was unlucky last night as well, Dally. He had a great shot, and it was tipped wide by the goalkeeper. But then that's when it ended up being a penalty to Georgia. You know what I mean? I can't stop saying it. But that was when, and that was never a penalty. Well, you know what it was? Yeah, Flex. It was one of those ones. I don't know if you've seen it. If not, you can.
Oh, I did see that one. It was that the momentum went into the guy.
Well, it's the one where, like,
I saw it.
He technically does touch him. But it's one of those, and when you look at it 5 times on the replay, you go, well, yes, he touched him, but it's not a penalty. It's not. It's not. And again,
well, then you look at the Scotland one. The Scotland one actually was a penalty. I said it was.
Need him in the back of the knee.
Yeah, it was a definite pen. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it was fun.
What was that group where they all finished on 4 points? Was that the Belgian one?
Yeah, the Belgium, Ukraine,
Jesus.
Romania.
And,
yeah, because Ukraine became the first team to go to finish on 4 points and not get through.
That's mental.
Yeah.
How they all finish on 4 points? That's crazy. Yeah. Wow, interesting stuff. Where are we at now? Okay, right. This is interesting. The new naming rights to the stadium. This got a lot of people talking. A lot of people were furious online. Sir Jim selling our soul, to the fans that are, local and born and bred, who go to that stadium every day since they were a kid. This was really going to hurt them. Other people saying, listen, in this day and age, PSR and money and competing for players, this is how it goes. You either fall behind, you adapt till you die. You could easily name it something with Old Trafford still in it. We'll still call it Old Trafford. It doesn't really matter. Crazy opinion. Where do people lie on this? So Jim potentially renaming the stadium or selling the stadium rights. Owen.
Yeah, so this was, as you mentioned, a really interesting one. It came from Adam Crafton from The Athletic yesterday, saying Manchester United are considering selling the naming rights to a refurbished Old Trafford or a newly built stadium as Sir Jim Ratcliffe seeks to drive up revenues to fund the project. The club are also deliberating over substantial ticket price rises, which to me might be the bigger story there, really. The ticket prices rising. Exactly. It continues by saying, in the event of a refurbishment, one option may be for Manchester United to retain the name Old Trafford, but seek to have an associated partner. In the event of a new build, however, United are open to selling the name altogether, which they hope would command tens of millions of pounds. So essentially what they're saying is that every option's on the table here. If it's a refurb and it's still Old Trafford, then it probably would still be called Old Trafford, maybe something associated with it. If it was a new build completely, it'd be like going from Highbury to the Emirates or something. It's a different stadium, so it would get a different name, or going from White Hart Lane to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And I suppose that would also depend on the geographical location. If it's just literally a different build.
Filbert Street to the King Power.
Or going from Main Road to the Etihad, or what it was called by that. They had a couple of names: City of Manchester Stadium, Eastlands, I think it was for a little while.
Southampton was what? The Dell
to St. Mary's, that kind of thing.
Goodison Park. What's that going to be called? Is that going to be called Goodison Park?
I think at the moment it's called. I don't know if it's got an actual name.
Oh no, I think because they're in the bit of we don't know with the
exactly what it's going to be. Well, with the Spurs one, of course, as well, they're still to this day waiting to find a name, because I remember that it was not initially going to be the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Well, that's
they want to sell the rights as well.
Exactly.
West Ham, they're sharing something that's not owned by them, so
Exactly. I think that I can see both sides of this one. I can, which I know would be an eye roller. The reason I can see both sides of it is I think that to people that just go, it doesn't matter. That's when I go, well, it does. Whenever we have these conversations about these kind of things, whether it was like, the number 7 shirt or whatever's tied to the history of Manchester United, to say that it doesn't matter is bullshit, because of course it matters. It's Old Trafford. The name matters. The fact that the name could command millions of pounds is due to the fact that it matters. It's very historically significant. Now, the other side of it I can see is, for instance, Flex, when you go to Manchester United's training ground, what do you call it?
Carrington.
Right. Its actual name is the Aon Training Complex, but nobody calls it the Aon Training Complex. They call it Carrington because it's Carrington. So people, rightfully so, will say, well, if it was called something stadium, or like the New Camp, it's just Spotify New Camp. Let's go to New Camp.
No one calls it Spotify New Camp.
No one calls it that. So that's the point that people make, and I suppose that's a fair argument too. I think that it's easier if it's a new build. If it's a new build, completely different one, it's easier to not call it Old Trafford, because at that point, it's not Old Trafford anymore, is it? It's a new stadium. Yeah. If you refurb the one you've got, and then you try and say that it's the Snapdragon presents Old Trafford Stadium, you go, well, one, you go, it's Old Trafford, and two, you'd be like, it's a bit like, when St. James's Park was called, was it the Sports Direct Arena?
Well, they tried to, innit? And then they went mad.
Yeah. Well, there was. Then Mike Ashley was like, I don't give a shit, and they put the things up there. And then once the Saudi owners came in, they took it down, and St. James's Park. But everyone always called it St. James's Park. So it's a difficult one.
I think if you stay on the site, literally on the site and refurb, I think you keep it the same. Because it costs less to even refurb as well than it costs to build a whole new one.
Well, they're suggesting not. That's
with the complexities of ours.
Yes, that's the point they're saying.
Me personally, if I'm honest with you, I don't really mind personally. Like people can have big opinions on this. People can start being silly and calling people a fake fan because you think this and all of that. No one can call anyone nothing. It's your own personal opinion. It's one thing I will say about this: don't let anybody tell you that, because you think X or because you think Y or because you don't go to games or because you live far away or because you live close, whichever way around it is, don't let anybody tell you nothing about how to feel about this. It is your personal opinion. What are you comfortable with the stadium being called when you see your team, your beloved Man United, play there, whether in person or on a TV or bloody listening on the radio or following the results on Google because you have neither of those devices? I don't care. If you support the club, you support the club. That's first and foremost, because I've seen that already. I've seen some of the people trying to say any real fan would never sell our soul for this. Don't be so stupid. You don't get to tell people who are real fans and who are not. I'm dead against that. Always have been. For me, Old Trafford obviously means a lot in my heart of what that is to the club. And realistically, no matter what stadium we have, I would still always call it Old Trafford. I would. If it's called, look at, I don't know, if it was called, I don't know, the Foot Locker Old Trafford, I don't know.
Snapdragon
Old
Stadium.
Trafford, yeah. I mean, Old Trafford's quite a hard one because nothing really follows that. Is it called the Spotify Nou Camp, innit?
Something like that, I think.
Yeah, and it's really weird how it. But again, it's just, and that's one of the biggest football clubs in the world, top 3 along with us.
Iconic stadium, you know. What I mean?
And again, they knock theirs down where they're like, oh, you can't do it. Look how old and pristine. No, AC Milan, they're getting a new stadium, I believe, aren't they? Like you can't.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you can't. These iconic things have to come to an end. Arsenal moved into the Emirates. Okay, went up the road from Highbury. It's probably a lot of fans at the time, been going many, many years, have different perspectives. This is called Highbury. Shouldn't be calling it the Emirates. Fly Emirates on the shirt. Now the thing's called the Emirates. So if Arsenal, I don't know how it works with their lease for that not lease, but that stadium they got to pay off versus who sponsors it. And the shirt sponsor Emirates as well as the stadium. But if that changes, they could be taken over by Just Eat. And then the whole stadium will probably have to change to Just Eat Stadium. And they have to have Just Eat on the shirt. I don't know. Or the way the deal structured is after that 15, 20 years of it being called the Emirates, it's out for bidding again. And whoever commands the most money could win. That's just how it goes. And that's what helps them buy players. That's what helps them fund transfers and have money to renovate the stadium and things like that. Because at the same time, the same people who will like say it must be called Old Trafford or I'm not going are the same people who will also want to see the best squads, want to see us get get good players and be competitive in the market. In this day and age, when you're seeing people being fined for PSR and revenues sort of being slashed, and you have to maximize your revenue. And we've got an asset that essentially could make us more powerful than a lot of teams who are selling their souls in terms of being owed by states, or which could have happened to us with Qatar, or some people are really dead against that. Well, the pushback needs to be, well, how do you want us to secure some extra funding then? Fine, let's keep it Old Trafford and just keep it. Get us some more money in then. How are we going to do that? So I get both sides.
Yeah, I think also as well, I remember when the conversation about the stadium possibly being knocked down first came up, and this was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And I remember the sheer idea of knocking down Old Trafford and building something else at the time was like sacrilege. You can't do that. You can't do that. I remember talking about it at the time being like, unfortunately, and I know because obviously Manchester United is one of the most historic clubs in the world, and there is so much history attached to the stadium and the name and stuff like that. We're very reluctant to change, aren't we? We're very reluctant to change and we don't like it. But unfortunately, things do change and they do evolve. I think it's much easier. I've always been an advocate of new stadium in general because I just think the expansion potential of Old Trafford is so limited. And I think problems like this also rear their heads. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do with the name? What do you do with that? And you're almost like, well, you know what? Actually, then let's just not touch it. Maybe let's downscale it. Maybe let's turn it into a museum or something that the other, whether it's the women's team or the academy team or whatever, we can turn it into something that you can utilize to still, drive revenue. And it still is Old Trafford. That's almost the best thing for it. You protect it, you preserve it, and then all of those other issues. So you're worried about, again, naming rights, this, that, blah, 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 expansion potential. If you've got to a new build, then you can call it whatever you want. Then you can call it all this kind of stuff. And it kind of exists separately to Old Trafford. And Old Trafford's always there. It's always preserved. It's always got the memories. It's always got everything associated with it. And it's much more clean. It's much cleaner, isn't it? It's much more cleaner. You don't have to, infringe on the history or anything like that. That's the way to go. Now, if it does, the task force does come to a conclusion where it's like, actually, we think we should stay at Old Trafford and do this and do that, and they do call it another name, it will still always be Old Trafford. It will still always be Old Trafford.
But then what's weird is that they moved. So, like the Emirates, it's called the Emirates. Obviously, Emirates sponsor them. But no one ever calls it Highbury. No one calls it Highbury.
Because it's not Highbury.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So once you move it,
that's what I mean. It's easier.
Yeah,
it's cleaner, isn't it?
You almost can't. But
we're not playing at Old Trafford anymore.
Yeah, but you know when people say like when you say but I'll still call it. I've just said to be fair, I'll still call it Old Trafford. If we move it, I wouldn't.
Exactly, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I'm saying so that all of the issues you have with names and all that kind of stuff. If it's a new build, you go away from that because it's not Old Trafford.
Yeah.
It's
Because
not
actually,
Old
and then
Trafford
there's
anymore.
a realization that it can change. So like the Allianz Arena, Allianz are an insurance company. You know how mental that is, aren't
Right,
they? Allianz.
you go
so like,
around obviously UK and you go
Mercedes
around
Benz. Mercedes Benz.
you go around the States. I only know some of the arenas in the States based off their sponsorship names, and they've changed that too. I remember the one in California used to be the Staples Center, and I still call it the Staples Center, but it's now like the Crypto.com arena or something like that, whatever.
And the Staples Center's been there for years.
They changed.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you got T-Mobile Arena. When
T-Mobile's in Vegas,
in Vegas.
T-Mobile
the
Arena.
Allegiance, where the Raiders have gone to the Allegiance. Allegiance, I think, is not security, is insurance based or something like that as well.
There's one in Chicago, which is the Allstate Arena, and that for years used to be the Rosemont Horizon. It's still Rosemont Horizon, but it's the Allstate Arena. Like they're just
MetLife. I think the MetLife where we went last year in New Jersey. I think that used to be called something else as well, where the Jets play. You know what I mean?
I don't know because that's a relatively new build, isn't it? But a lot of the time, what you tend to find again with the States is if you get these big stadiums that get built, they don't get like names or whatever. They get who they're sponsored by, and that's the naming rights. And again, that's just the way that sports kind of going. And I think that's much less sacrilege than renaming something that's already existing. You know what I mean?
There. Once you move, it's best to probably just call it something else, really.
Yeah.
And again, people just cotton on that. And then the history develops. Like Arsenal fans now aren't really now they're competing for, I know they haven't won it yet and all that, but they're just happy they're going and seeing Mikel Arteta do well, and the team they're not going, I tell you what, that bloody was still not called Highbury. Can't get over that. Like time just elapses, doesn't it? And you're like, you know what, let's just move on. Yeah. And that can become something different at the drop of a hat. Like I said, that thing could run out, that sponsorship.
It can change.
And then bloody Coca-Cola buy it. The naming rights for the next 15. Then it's called the Coca-Cola Stadium or the Coca-Cola Arena. And Arsenal got Coca-Cola on the front of the shirts. Or they might split the deal where someone has the naming rights for the stadium and then someone can have the stuff on the shirt. And then they got two different things again, like they used to have back in the day.
And again, that's easier again for a new build. I think that's why if you stick with Old Trafford and go, we're just going to expand that, and then it gets a little bit frosty about going, wow, that feels a bit. It feels a bit kind of dirty, that a little bit, you know. But at the same time, like I said, there are naming things when it comes to like, you know, Carrington or whatever, and people still call it its name. But to me, and again, I'm not an architect, Flex. Don't know if you know this. I'm not an architect or anything like that, but it just feels like all the right stuff is heading towards just, again, keep you've got what you got, Old Trafford, downscale it, whatever, get a new build. It's new build, start from scratch, the best, call it what you want, all that fun stuff.
Roof can shut, big fucking thing in the middle, like the SoFi Stadium, big LED.
Because then again, you notice this, we're first to complain, and then we see like the new Bernabeu, by the way, when it folds in and all that kind of stuff, we go, oh, it's bloody lovely, isn't it? It's great. It's great to go, what if we were to, and look, I don't know, that was renovated, and they'll go, see, but that you can renovate that.
Able to do it.
But they were, but they were able to do it, the location. I don't see in that area of Manchester, that pitch being able to fold into itself. Do you?
Underneath the railway line.
We've only just managed to get sort of Wi-Fi. You know, we're working on screens still, let alone folding the pitch into itself. Yeah, I don't think that one's going to work out.
Some of the names.
We still get the yellow. We still get the yellow happy birthday messages with the balloons on the side of it. You know.
Yeah. Someone said Emirates sponsoring a shirt, a stadium, and the competition is crazy. They got some serious money. They got the FA Cup. They got Arsenal Stadium. They got Arsenal shirt. Don't Emirates do other teams as well?
I think so. They've done lots of
teams. I think the Benfica, I want to say.
No, they've done a lot of teams.
No, they've done a lot of teams, yeah. So, yeah, there's some teams who have a bit of a, not monopoly over the football thing, but they are very heavily invested into, you know, the Etihad. I think because the City Group, you know, they've got the New York team. They've got one in South Africa, I want to say. The last time I checked, I don't know if they still got them, but they have a few teams and they all probably got Etihad on the front as a shirt as well.
Look at Red Bull. You know,
Red Bull do it.
You know, Leipzig, Salzburg. They've bought into Leeds now, haven't they?
Yeah. So, Emirates is Real Madrid, no?
Is it? I forget.
Yeah, it is.
Real Madrid,
mate.
Of course, yeah. Of course.
Mental. And I'm sure, I swear, why do I think they had a team in Portugal? Was it Benfica?
Emirates.
Why do I think AC Milan as well? Oh, yeah.
AC Milan.
I'm sure Benfica as well. PSG as
yeah.
well.
I thought they did PSG, but then I thought, did that...
They changed it to Jordan, didn't they? Oh, no, they got Qatar now. PSG
they got Qatar, yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah,
I feel like they used to. I feel like
they used
that's
to.
right.
I think they used to have
Was that before the buyout? Oh, no, it's actually recent.
I remember when they had like Cavani in that.
Yeah,
and I remember like Zlatan wearing a shirt that had
yeah.
You know what I mean? So listen, don't mess about with the Emirates and them kind of run, mate.
Every big team they got PSG, Real Madrid, AC Milan, Arsenal. They got pretty half decent brand exposure, don't they?
Mental. And then the whole stadium of Arsenal. And then the whole FA Cup.
Yeah.
We are the Emirates FA Cup champions currently.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, their Twitter account bloody loves us because they still to this day
1 month since Man United lifted the FA Emirates trophy. FA Cup Emirates trophy, 100%. And I tell you what, like Steffi Jenks says there, not gonna lie, Emirates Airlines is top notch. There are other airlines available, I have flown Emirates a couple of times. I tell you what, the food's nice. The food's nice. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. So there you go. Let's double check all of the comments, make sure we're good. Nem Green says, "Well, go on, boys. We have to keep Wan-Bissaka. He gets unfair criticism. There's not many right backs that can do what he can do. Based on what you've seen at the Euros, what centre mid would you take?" It's really hard, isn't it? Obviously, the Italian centre back looks good. What's his name again?
Yeah.
The one
that plays Calafiori, is that his name?
Yeah, that's it. And the one who looks like he's from like 2001. It's like he actually looks like he's from that era with the Alice band and the hair goes back. He looks like a proper Italian defender from back in the day. Yeah, he looks good, but again, I'm not getting.
You gotta be careful, ain't you?
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there, man. I'm not trying to do it.
One thing's though to be said though, when it comes to the Euros flex, obviously now the draw's in place. Everyone knows the route to the final and all that. And has he done it again? Oh, Gareth.
He's done it again. He's definitely done that again.
Side of the draw. He's on the right side of the draw, but whether or not we're still good, I mean. Well, if we got Slovakia, which by the way, like you never know.
Wow,
you never know.
But come on,
how we're playing, with how we're playing.
Yeah, no, it won't be easy. Won't dust them down.
With Slovenia, so you know.
But then again, Kobe's going to start now, so we'll be all right. Watch.
But then, so let's say we get that, and then we face either Switzerland or Italy, which again, I don't know. I mean, I know we played Italy in the qualifier and we beat them, didn't we? But different, isn't it? Different
thing, mate. It's peak.
Different,
but it's there. The path is there. You can't ask for an easier path than no Spain,
on the right side of the draw,
no Germany, no France, no Netherlands. That's 5 teams that you kind of want to avoid.
The Netherlands on our side of the draw.
Nah, don't think they are.
I know. Again, we're definitely separate to like France and Portugal and Germany. And all that. Where is it?
Oh, Netherlands are they?
Netherlands are. Netherlands are.
All right, so we can get them in the semis.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, you know, Minnesbit says Qatar business class is better than Emirates and Etihad, and someone else said, Show says, you've flown Qatar business class. Damn, you're so big time. Minna's got different change, different pocket change to the rest of us, mate. Never been in business class in my life. Love to. That must be sick. You know, when you get on a plane though, and you see the people. It's going to go to the left to my business class cabin.
Yeah.
You just go. It's going to go to the economy,
and they kind of disappear behind the curtain a little bit. And you go, nah.
Must be nice.
But you know what I do like when people that fly business, whatever, they'll always bring it up. You know what I mean? If you have a conversation with them, you go, "Oh, did you travel somewhere for work?" They'll go, "Yeah, flew business, mate."
Yeah. A lot of companies. I know some people in the space. I was talking to. I'm not going to say the name. I was talking to someone who works for a big broadcaster, and they were saying to me, like, part of their agreement is that they have to go business class. And I was saying to them, I was like, "Right, you're living nice," and they were like, "Yeah, man, it's just crazy." Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe like the business class everywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. Anyone who's watching business class who wants to send me and KG somewhere for business class, let us know. If there's any pilots watching, or any people who work at the airlines, get in contact.
What would you do if you, let's say you're going on tour, like tour in the summer, and you get on the plane, it's you, KG, and Josh, and there you go. Excuse me, Mr. Fleck.
There's two.
We can get two of you into business, but one of you's got to stay. Who do you think?
I would say Josh, man. I mean, me and KG aren't going to be there. Look, you get the whole row of seats to yourself. Like you can lie down and be like you're basically in business class. Nah, I'm joking. I would send them to. I would. I'd send them to in the hope. I'd send them to in the hope that they go, nah, we can't do that to Fleck. Come on, Fleck. Oh, we'll flip a coin. One of us will go all the way there, or one of us will go all the way back, Fleck. Oh, go on. But I would offer it to them.
Josh is in the chat. And he's looking. He's doing the eyes. Oh, by the way, actually, Flex, it was lucky I brought that up because you were just about to finish in the show. You just about to finish the show, and lucky we stayed live for about 30 seconds because I got some breaking news.
Breaking news.
Please be good. I'm not looking at the chat and I'm not looking at the screen. Is it good? Please be good.
It is a siren from David Ornstein, who is saying that Marseille are exploring a deal to sign Mason Greenwood from Manchester United. Club-to-club talks at an early stage. Finances not yet discussed. Positive dialogue between Marseille and the Manchester United forward thought to favour them over other options at present, which is quite significant, that last part of it, because it looked like the last few days he was going to be going to Lazio. But now they're saying that Marseille are exploring this deal. They're having talks with Greenwood, not yet with Manchester United, but it looks like Greenwood's favouring going to Marseille over some other options. Now, how much that's going to be, don't know.
Finance is not yet discussed. Yeah. I just wanted it to be like we've agreed a fee with something or something. I don't know. All right.
They've just got Roberto De Zerbi as well as their manager. So,
there
you go.
Yeah. Marseille 22 forward thought to favour them over other options at present. Okay. Right. Well, that's the news. That is breaking news, to be fair. But it's like, let's be honest. We know there's a lot of suitors for Mason Greenwood. There's a lot of people who want him. There's a lot of interest.
Drive the price up. Get the price up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Let's see. Watch this space. Aminor says Mina has been making dollars marketing Marcel. Aminor says, if you had to choose between Josh or KG for economy, that's what we just said there.
I can't believe myself. Wow. You know, the truth really came out for a second there. Josh, if you're watching, mate,
you can get all free seats just yourself.
Can't believe, and he's talking to Josh like he's a child, trying to spin it. This is a good thing, you realise? Yeah, this is a good thing. Meanwhile, KG, his way of traveling, by the way,
actually, he's been on it before with his Hollywood people.
Yeah,
actually, no, KG, get back there.
And again, KG's way of traveling is he pulls his hat down over his face and he just goes to sleep. That's how he travels. People wonder why he wears the hats. Yeah, he literally goes with that. And again, that's not just reserved for flying. He does that in cars. Like he literally just. We were going to Football Content Awards once. I was mid conversation with him, and I turned to look out the window like this. And as I turned back, down, he's got AirPods in as well, so he can't hear you or anything like that. Snoring. I went,
gone, mate. Yeah, gone, mate. Yeah, 100%. Right, guys, big up to yourselves. We'll be across any news that's coming out of Manchester United today. Obviously, this Greenwood situation, we'll keep you up to date with that. Should there be any more significant updates and with any other players that we're trying to get or sell. So, yeah, keep it locked to United View. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we'll see you again soon on the next video. Peace.